Hi, I'm Roger Taylor, and I'm here at Amoeba.
His name's John Taylor.
And I'm Nick Rhodes, and I'm here at Amoeba with Roger Taylor.
And this is in my bag. How about you, Simon Le Bon?
He got it right.
Something is happening to me. Maybe it's happening to you. Everybody, everywhere, feel it in the air. Oh yeah, it's time to take the pressure off. Everybody, everywhere, step out into the future. It's time to take the pressure off.
Have you got one of those things that gets rid of the security thing? It just looks like I've nicked it.
So far, you have.
I've picked Tame Impala's Currents. I think this is actually probably my album of the year. He does what we really, really appreciate in other artists. He takes the genre, you know, the medium of music, and he really takes it somewhere it hasn't been to before. I think that's wonderful. The standout track for me is 'Cause I'm a Man. 'Cause I'm a man, woman. Sometimes I do, sometimes don't think before I do.
I'm going to go with an oldie first. It's Paul McCartney's first solo album. I have to say, I've always been like in the Lennon v. McCartney war. I've always been very Lennon, but lately I've been a bit more obsessed with McCartney's contribution to the Beatles, particularly the late Beatles, and I'm kind of obsessed with the second side of Abbey Road at the moment, so I want to see where Paul goes from there, and this is where he goes from there.
Maybe I'm a man, or maybe I'm the only woman that ever had me. Baby, won't you help me to understand?
What you got there, Rog?
Led Zeppelin. Just looking at this cover, I mean, that was one of the amazing things about the 70s, was the covers, and there was so much mystique in this record. I kind of think that's something we've lost, the mystique that surrounded artists and the records. You know, everything's very accessible, and everything's tweeted, and everything's online. But this has not even got a picture of the band or anything.
That cover, as obscure as it is, we did a video in the late 90s for a song called Out of My Mind, and the video director for some reason decided that he wanted Simon to play that character for one part. So Simon's wandering around at the top of a stairway
With the
all
twigs on his back.
Yeah, with lots of prosthetics on.
Got to get you out of my mind, but I can't escape from the feeling.
Who is that guy? Who is that
Who is he?
guy?
Where is
Come
he
on.
now?
Let's have a relative or something.
Well, I found the DVD department and didn't really escape from there. It's pretty difficult. I realised what a pleasure it is going through racks and actually finding things that reminds me of my childhood, but also of times not quite so far away, when you had that choice. Of course, we all love the convenience of being able to go online and buy things, but I would never have found that anywhere, I don't think. It's 3 films by Roberto Rossellini starring Ingrid Bergman. And one of them is a film that I've wanted to see for a long time called Stromboli. The reason I want to see it is because I recently travelled past Stromboli on a boat, and I went round the island, and it's got an active volcano. It's still going off, and it's got inhabitants. And in the winter time, there's only several hundred people, I believe, that live there.
La vita è dura qui. E anche la terra è dura. Sì, ma
I'm staying with vinyl, and I've got to give Mr. Ronson his due. I love this guy. He's probably the 3rd most stylish guy in music. I'm not saying who the first 2 are, but it's kind of like pop art, you know, just the cover and everything. It's you know, you almost don't need to open it. It's just great to have on your shelf, but we know it's a great album anyway. We love Mark.
Feel right in this motherfucker. Feel good in this motherfucker. My whole hood in this motherfucker. Here we go rock this motherfucker.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a DVD now. This is Chippy. It doesn't matter if you're black or if you're white. Chippy is the film for you.
You see that dog there? Are you either that dog or you this dog? You want to survive, Chappie. Chappie, you must fight.
It's not the best film ever made, but it does have the Antwoord in it. Particularly Jolanda Visser, who is just extraordinary. The performance she gives in this film is fantastic. She's mummy, you know. What am I going to, mummy?
Say, mommy.
Say, mommy.
Actually, I really like the Antwoord as well. I love that one. I rub my dick an expensive shit.
Like a dream come true, I'm living the dream, bro. Rubbing my dick on the expensive shit.
I also love Fatty Boom Boom. That, I think, is the best video that I've seen for a long time.
Happy boom boom, hit me with the ching ching. Not pocket ding ding, dollar eye twinkling. Just a bit so chunky, let's get the funky.
I'd hate to think that a Monday afternoon had passed by without a vampire movie. This is actually Blood for Dracula.
I have heard fine things about your family and your daughters.
It sort of came out of the Warhol factory, but Paul Morrissey was the director.
You are a virgin?
Yes.
You're telling me the truth?
Yes.
I believe you.
I saw this once in the cinema many, many years ago, but I've never actually seen it since. I assume it's all been manicured perfectly, and when I put it on my screen, it's going to look better than ever.
The blood of these whores is killing me.
I had to pick a David Bowie record. A huge influence on me when I was younger, David Bowie. He was just able to change direction at any point. You know, he never made a record that was like the last one. The drumming is very simplistic, but the sound is amazing. There's a guy called Dennis Davis playing drums. So that very much shaped the way I played for the next few years, was listening to this record. I mean, the great thing about Bowie, he always used great musicians, very tasteful musicians, who, if I want a bit of inspiration, I'll listen to a David Bowie album, particularly this one.
Galantis. I heard Runaway, and it was in a scene in Ballers, that Dwayne Johnson TV show, and I just loved it. It's just pure pop. It's great. It's heavy dance pop.
I love the
and
cover.
it's a great
It's a
cover.
great cover. Can I segue from that? I'd like to segue into this because they say never judge a book by its cover, but I often do. That, you know, I have a little maxim. It says never complain, never explain, never say would have, should have, or could have. Always judge a book by its cover and always mix your drinks. This is a fabulous cover. That is one of the all-time greatest record covers ever, ever, ever. In fact, the back's even, look at him, he's doing flying kung fu kicks.
In platform shoes.
Platform shoes, it's fabulous. It happens to be a very good album too, this one. If You Want Me to Stay is probably my favourite track on it.
When you know that you never number one, gonna be number one.
I love it. This is great stuff.
My fourth choice is Grey Gardens. It's a documentary made by the Maysles brothers. They're extraordinary filmmakers. I couldn't quite believe this the first time I saw it.
Cat's going to the bathroom, right in back of my portrait.
God, isn't that awful?
No, I'm glad he is. I'm glad somebody's doing something they want to do.
It's very real, but quite surreal because of the behavior of the subjects.
And then you can pull the stockings up over the pants underneath the skirt. And you can always take off the skirt and use it as a cape. So I think this is the best costume for the day.
Okay. If any of you haven't seen Grey Gardens, then I would highly recommend it. It's very funny.
I'm telling you, I can't get my figure back unless I hit New York City. You know, that icebox is still here. I've got to get away from that icebox.
So I thought I'd pick something a little bit more modern. I think everybody knows about this record. Which for me kind of started EDM. if you like, which I know is a bit more of a recent term, but I think that really started electronic dance music for me because it took it outside of just that kind of hard, four on the floor, techno, kind of music that you had to take drugs to. I think Daft Punk really brought musicality to house music. I was a big fan of the French house movement. They kind of integrated funk. It wasn't just all programmed. It seemed to have a little bit more live bass on it. It was 97, I think, that came out. It still sounds good now, I think, actually.
This is my last one. Covering up the price tag. In 1977, wasn't it? Johnny Rotten went down to Jamaica.
On Richard Branson's dime.
On Richard Branson's dime, and they put the word out that any reggae artist should come and turn up the next day. The next day, there was a line of people that went right down the street, or as you say here, around the block.
Say rebel in the morning, a rebel in the evening.
Get up and fight for your rights, my sister.
Get up, you are freedom fighters.
Is the land where I and I come from.
Civilization. Don't let me leave your lonely world.
Now, I used to have the original Frontline album, but my naughty girlfriend, Fiona Kemp, she seems to have appropriated that, and I don't know how to get it back. So, this isn't the same as the original one. This is the multi-disc, 5 discs from the Vaults, Disco Mixes, Frontline 3. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't heard this, I don't know what's on it. It's got some of the tracks that I know and love, but some other ones that I'm looking forward to hearing.
Thank you so much for talking with us today.
You're welcome.
Great, thanks a lot.